Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Hello, this is Duncan Alney with the Firebelly Social Show, where we talk to CEOs and founders of mission-driven food and beverage brands. This is a very special episode because it was recorded live at the Sweets and Snacks Show in Chicago. Lastly, this episode is brought to you by Firebelly Marketing, where we focus on making brands more likable on social media. We've worked with brands like Bake Believe, Karma Nuts, Justin Winery, Fiji Water, and a whole lot more, and we'd love to talk to you. Hit us up on firebellymarketing.com. Duncan here, coming to you live from the Sweets and Snacks Expo, and I'm here with my main man, Benjamin.
Good day. How you doing?
Really good. I'm really good. Nice to meet you. And Benjamin, tell us about your company.
Chum Fruit Bites. Good for you. As we always say, good for the planet. Good for you because it's only fruit. Every bag has the equivalent fruit of 2 small apples, bit of pears, bit of strawberries. And good for the planet because we give back to endangered species. We use biodegradable product packaging. And essentially, it's a healthy alternative to candy. A lot of great brands here, but not a lot of great products. So if I may, we're a great brand. Getting there, and we're a great product. It's really good for you.
That's amazing. Just what you just said to me is so impressive and almost overwhelming because doing business today isn't like it is 30 years ago. You got to think about so many different things.
Yeah, I think you do. We're in a different world now than when we were growing up, that's for sure. And in my case, when you start your own company, it's a little bit more than just about making money, if you're lucky to make some money. It's about making a difference. I think a lot of people resonate with that. So we want to make a difference by really helping endangered species who are going through a real tough spot, and also making sure that our impact on the environment, everything from carbon footprint to recyclable materials, is as good as it can be. So we're very happy that we've got that mix, and we're beginning to see some nice take up in the market today.
And it's free of fake stuff, as you say.
It's only fruit, so we just take the whole fruits, we puree them down, we slowly bake them. We can't quickly bake them because that would caramelize the sugars. So the sugars are unrefined, so it's fructose, so the body has to work harder to break it down. So it's not glucose or sucrose, there's no sugar spikes, there's no obesity, there's no diabetes. It's better for you energy, plus you get all the fibers and the vitamins and the proteins of the fruit. So it's a very clean, in fact, it's the cleanest ingredient-less fruit snack or any confectionery snack that you'll see in the market.
That's amazing. And what role does innovation play in your life on a daily basis?
A very big one, because you always have to think ahead. So we're always trying to innovate from the next flavor experience, the next packaging experience, how we can be less harmful to the environment, how we can deliver it to the target market through communication. You have to be different to stand out. If you don't stand out, then it's going to be a lot harder for you.
What's the marketing vehicle that typically works best for you?
Without a doubt, word of mouth. We're not a big company, so we don't have deep pockets. But what we do know is if you can win over your real true consumer, word of mouth is the strongest. And because we are unique, because we have the cleanest ingredient list, because it's really good for you, and mums especially want to give a bag of Chum Fruit Bites and not a bag of X confectionery, it's a no-brainer. So that's our best advertising.
And is the demographic primarily women?
No, not really. I mean, men also benefit from fruit, but our core demographic are millennial mums because they're taking care more of the kids. Half of millennial mums today are kids. Half of millennials today are parents, so they have kids. And like you said earlier, we're in a different stage now. We're understanding what we're eating. We're eating a lot of crap out there. So here you can trust a brand that's going to give you just fruit, 2 apples per bag. And that's the real mainstay of the consumer franchise.
I mean, and it is a very much more conscious parent that's out there. They're very concerned about what their children are doing. So I know when I was a kid, my mom was like, "Yeah, hey, there's some snacks in the cupboard. Go get them." Right?
Yeah, and I think that's still the case. I mean, the kids like it, and they if they like it, that makes a mum feel happy. But if a mum can give her kid something that he or she likes, and she knows she's giving him something that's good for him, that's the equivalent of eating 2 apples, it makes her feel even better. Doubly so for giving her kid what she wants, but making her kid get something nutritious and that's good for him.
Benjamin, with the endangered species that you're supporting, how did that all come about, and how does that make you happy?
So I lived in Asia for many years, and I went back, and I'm an avid diver. I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of diving, and I realized that the sharks are being quickly removed from the oceans to the tune of about 170 million a year. So that moved me a bit, because sharks are very important for the ecosystem. They maintain the balance of the reefs of the oceans. They clean up dead fish, injured fish, old fish. They really are important. They're not these strange killing machines that we think they are. So I set up an NGO trying to educate. I lived in Singapore, to the local population that don't eat shark fin soup. It's not good for you. There's no nutritional value. Damages the ecosystem. And this NGO was absorbed by a great NGO in the US called Wild Aid. So when I set up the company, I went back to them and said, look, I'd like to give back to you guys. And they were thrilled. And that's where the word chum comes from, the connection to sharks. But chum also means friend in English. If you're my chum, you're my mate, you're my friend. And we broadened it to all endangered species. So every flavor is an endangered species. So it's got a lovely story. But that's good to get you bought once. If it's not delicious and good for you, you won't get bought twice. But fortunately, we're seeing repeat purchase, and it's working quite nicely.
I love the idea that, you got a little, as a parent, that you're buying yourself some redemption too. Your money is going further than your immediate transaction.
Yeah, and I think it's a reflection of the times we live in, especially if you're a millennial and you're more aware of the terrible damage that we're inflicting on this planet. And then this, I think everyone needs to play their role. Even if it's a small role, cumulatively, it has a huge difference. And if you can think that if we were the size of some of these big confectionery brands, giving away a percentage of profits to Wild Aid, we could finance conservation in its totality for the rest of life. So we're very happy with our path, and we're going to keep. It's very binding for our part of our mission is to give back to these endangered species. But we lead with the product is really a good for you product, very clean ingredient, very healthy.
It's amazing. How do you decide on a flavor? Do you decide on the endangered species first, or do you decide on the flavor first and then match it with the endangered species?
Okay, you're diving into trade secrets there. So it's a very difficult one to explain. At the end of the day, it's just what I think is the best fit.
It's the CEO privilege. I like it. What's your favorite flavor?
I personally like blackberry because it's not berry. Blueberry is a great fruit, but blueberry is more textured. There's not a lot of flavor. Blackberry's got a really rich flavor, and it's a flavor I grew up with in England. Blackberry fields, blackberries at the end of the summer. It's quite tart, and that's my favorite. It's not the number one seller. Strawberry, mango are the best sellers, but I like blackberry myself.
What do you do for fun, Benjamin? How do you stay inspired? Oh, you're a diver.
I'm a big diver, actually. I'm going to be diving soon again with the sharks. I love to dive with sharks. They're so intelligent and beautiful and inquisitive. And I like to stay close to that part of the conservation when I can. And otherwise, I have 3 boys, which takes up a lot of my time, and a lot of healthy eating and healthy snacks. That's my deal.
I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and we wish you the best of luck.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.